Jim Martin. I'm the president of the board. Is our treasurer. Secretary. Is our the retired the executive vice president. If I wasn't here, he'd be here. So. And Trenton Moore is one of our board members. George Hobbs is here. And our special guest today is and I'm just second here, Morris Sparkman, County Commissioner. We are missing one person. We're missing our auditor, but Judy can fill in for it. So at 11:16, we'll call the meeting to order this morning, and I have a few remarks that I will talk about that. Good morning and welcome to Tierra Grande Improvement Association's annual meeting. My name is Jim Warner, and I'm the president of the board of directors of Tierra Grande Improvement Association. I've had the honor to serve on the board of directors since 2018. We've been a landowner in Tierra Grande for over 20 years. I'd like to thank you all for attending. I'd like to start today's meeting with a big thank you to the staff of Tierra Grande. He is here. He's our auditor for Tierra Grande Improvement Associations. So we'll start the day with a big thank you to the staff of Tierra Grande. Sue Moran, our administrator of over 17 years of life. She is what every administrator should strive to be. Thank you for being such a wonderful person in the profession. Thank you. With the retirement of our long-term office assistant, Jamie Griffin, and the hiring of Lee Ansell and Ron Robbins, I believe Tierra Grande is building a strong, very capable team for the future. I would like to thank Ms. Danny Shower, back there, for all the years of serving our organization as the editor of our Tales and Trails newsletter. Danny has put out the newsletter 3 times a year for over 30 years. Thank you, Sandy. This year marks the 50th anniversary of Tierra Grande. In the newsletter for the past year, we have highlighted members who have been with Tierra Grande for the entire 50 years. Many of these folks have sent in stories, how and why they purchased the land, and their experiences of being a landowner in Tierra Grande. Thank you for taking the time to write us and share your stories. They're in the newsletters, really interesting how all this came about, and I encourage all of you to look back at your old newsletters and read that. Tierra Grande.
They don't have it. You'll stand up.
The land out there in 1960, when I was in the Navy, I thought an ad at Navy Times ought to be a great investment. And I just sold those 2 lots last year. But I went out there in 1980.
I don't want to say about Bill. He is a very interesting person. He's a musician. He has been on county person. He is you, and he's so long strong. Thank you for your service.
Right,
Behind every man is a good woman. So there you go. Tierra Grande is made up of over 2,500 members, owning a little over 5,200 lots on 80,000 acres of land. This does not include the 14,000 acres of open space that is forever part of Tierra Grande. Serving our many members, making sure Tierra Grande is abiding by the laws of the state of New Mexico, and looking to the future of our organization. The board of directors and the staff of Tierra Grande work very closely together, keeping an eye on today and looking forward to the future. Goal setting is a priority for the Tierra Grande board and staff. This year, we implemented a new 5-year board goal for 2022 to 2027. These goals are available on the Tierra Grande website. And I can tell you that the majority of the goals that were set in the prior 5-year goal were achieved and implemented, and I expect the same for our new goals. These goals are regularly looked at during board meetings with updates from the staff to make sure that we are on track. Tierra Grande Improvement Association is financially sound. In a moment, you will hear from the auditor, Lee Baldwin, and our treasurer, Judy Magnuson, about the financial health of Tierra Grande. The bylaws of Tierra Grande require that the assessment be made for the day-to-day operations of Tierra Grande Improvement Association. With the increase in assessment 2 years ago, we are complying with bylaws and running a very smooth organization. Tierra Grande will have an influx of cash from the SunZia transmission easements in 2020. The board of directors is listening to the membership and making decisions on how to invest this money for the future of our community. In the last Tales and Trails newsletter, our members were asked to answer a questionnaire regarding the use of these funds, and I will go over the responses later in today's meeting. In the past couple of years, Tierra Grande has implemented a grant program to help our members with extending electric services to lots that were not served, road assistance program for road improvements that are not on county maintenance lists, and alternate energy and water conservation programs. These programs are not intended to cover all the costs of our members improving their properties, just to help offset some expenses to encourage more development. And I'll put a little caveat to that. If y'all have any, suggestions on other grants, what have you, living in your communities, living in Tierra Grande. If there's other suggestions other than the 3 grants that we've got, board meetings are usually on Wednesdays, last Wednesday of the month, about 4 o'clock, right next to the Oasis Cafe. We'd love to have you. So if you want to come, it's always an open board meeting. Tierra Grande Improvement Association covenant make this community a beautiful place to live, protect our members and investors. The Architectural Control Committees are responsible for overseeing policies and their implementation. For whole lifting of the various policies, practices, and guidelines. Please visit our website. The Architectural Control Committee is a true asset to the Tierra Grande development. Without our covenant, it's a way to enforce them. Our beautiful land and views will be overtaken by us. Tierra Grande has been a vital and important part of Olympia and Squirrel counties for over 50 years. In my business, I always tell my people that it's not necessarily the big things, although these are important. It's all the little things that make the business the biggest impact. The staff of Tierra Grande Improvement Association serves our members with a variety of small services that make this impact. These include new member packets, tracking down titles and helping people with their properties, and matching with correct addresses. Organizing cleanup days, putting together lots for sale by owners catalog on the website, weekly email updates to our members, a little free library in the office, and most importantly, a friendly staff that is helpful and willing to take on issues our members are having in our community. So we have a great staff. Anything they can do to help that is within their, within what they can do, we're happy to help. I would like to thank the board of directors for all their hard work. These people are dedicated to keeping this organization moving in the right direction. It's a privilege to work beside you all. Lastly, I would like to thank you, the members of Tierra Grande, for your continued support. I'm proud to be part of the Tierra Grande family. Thank you. So we'll do the treasurer's report.
Morning. Well, we're 50 years overseeing wide open spaces. As many of my guests have talked, it's so quiet and peaceful. I bet that's been your experience. My treasurer's report for the period ending December 31st, 2022. We continue to be stable and excellent financial shape. With our economic condition remaining very good. The short-term payables are month-to-month payroll taxes and annual bills for personnel services. Expenses are kept to a minimum and always within budget. After 50 years, Tierra Grande's assets of $1,769,304. $1 million, repeat it, assets. $1,769,304 are evidence of prudential physical merit. The fact that Tierra Grande is consistently remaining in the black all this time is a testament to the dedication to our fair policy and we have almost 2,600 landowners. During this past year, the office answered your calls, met with many of you directly, represented you when necessary, and responded to your issues and concerns professionally as well and as quickly as possible. Our office averages over 900 visitors a year and over 3,500 calls a week. Staff mail and distribute thousands of statements, newsletters, and hundreds of information packets annually. With your assessments, we pay for personnel, office supplies, office rental, signed, accounting, securing property records, insurance and property taxes on our open space, and we publish an informative newsletter 3 times a year. Presently, grants are being offered to lot owners who qualify and are in good standing. This assistance is continually being better defined as the process progresses. Our website, tierragrande.org, remains up to date and informative to those who prefer to access their information digitally 24/7. It's very convenient. Do a lot of people use that website? That's good. As I write on many of the checks I sign, money well spent. I'll leave it to Mr. Baldwin to provide you with the figures to verify my words.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You all enjoy your meals and so cool. So this is each year similar to whatever the says here. I present the review financial statement. So I did the review for the year ending December 31st, 2022. So I'll look at it. Basically, I get the financial, the accounting data. Trial balance, I get detail, and I look at, make sure everything looks correct. If there's any adjustments that I have to make in my I'll communicate that, and I'll make them. So for this report, so this is, I believe, my 5th year doing the review. And each year it's been a clean report, so it's been no, what we say, no material modification. This is a clean report. I know accounting adjustments that I have to make corrections or anything to report on. So that part of the report wanted to communicate to you all of the opinion votes. And I'm not sure if you all have a copy of it, but I have a set of financial statements, so I'll go over the pages I'm looking at, follow along. We'll start on page 2, the statement of financial position. So it lists 2022 and 2021 forecasts. Go over 2022, you all can see I'm in front of the 2021 numbers. It's pretty good for that one. So at December 31st, 2022, cash and cash equivalent was 283,000. Next to 2021, 332,000. 186. So that was about a $48,000 decrease from 2021. And we look at certificates of deposit, that's 773,000.
You want me to turn it up?
Really extra cash money will be transferred to certificate of deposit just for the state government. Just so 773,698, which was about an $81,000 increase from the prior year. We have assessments receivable, assessments that are owed and the interest on them. In 2022, the balance was 150,072 compared to last year of 112,520. That was a $38,000 increase. And just to briefly touch on that, there was a big change last year when there was a write-off. The first year that I went up for tax, but any outstanding assessments over 5.5 years, if I'm correct, that now gets written off. So that was a big write-off last year. Yeah. Well, I believe the law changed. If anything, if there's an outstanding receivable over that period of time, it's just to be written off. It's not to be protected. So I believe there were a number of receivables that were long, or assessments that were long outstanding. They had to be written off last year. I believe that's just what the state had come up with.
The board, she put together a grade for some of the pieces of property because some of the pieces of property sit so far out, they're not worth as much, and it's top Tierra Grande. So kind of the board looks at it as cost benefit kind of thing. If the piece of property is worth $1,500 and it's got $2,000 worth of assessments, and it's going to take $2,000 or $3,000 to reassess it, it doesn't make a good financial sense to spend $4,000 or $5,000 to reassess that piece of property when it's only worth $1,500. Those are kind of things you can look at it for correctly. They make good financial sense to repossess a piece of property when we don't get our money out.
The property owner very difficult to multi to be slide. So they
and that can very well be the case. There's fees for the most part. The people who are not paying the property assessments are not paying the property. They're eventually getting broke.
I do. This correct. There was a big state tax sale. That we didn't foreclose on, but the state did, and they also used the tax sale, and then he negotiated with the owners, and all but 3 of it, 2. But hey, that's all good. So one for profit, but it was a state law that's through posted, but brought up by 2 legislators who are all. And they're the ones who said any association, you owe more than 5 years and 364 days. Anything over that to be refunded. So we had a big refund. Because we don't think they were right off the 7. But if you don't contact you, and you don't pay us, we will place it in lien on, which it just did 6. We signed 6 on Monday. And we will also put fees and fines. So you make a choice.
And the dean is cost effective. That is what we are.
Correct. So we kind of get it. There you go. Any more questions? So is the association using any means of collection agencies to try and recoup some of those packaging money? Because many collection work mission basis, whereas if you have no hope of getting those money, at least you get some of it. It grows their mind. I've worked in a previous work life with collection agencies, and I found that 99% of the work was done by me, and there was very little return on investment. So we worked with the county, we worked with the state, we worked with people serving, we worked with our attorneys. We do everything that we can to possibly find or encourage people. We'll make changes, we'll write off interest, we'll do everything. But I would say there are federal stages, about 25% of the owners are deceased. I never looked at their about it. Then you probably make another 25% who's they get collection bill to a children or an estate, and it's kind of a limbo because you might sit with the probate estate, and you know they're off in New Jersey, or we have people in Germany, we have people in Israel, Canada, and once that happens, they have to look at cost effectiveness. Once you probate, you get a little attorney versus the value of the property. So that leaves us maybe about the other 50% of the unpaid lots that we do work diligently, but we know that the state will eventually take into account the right invest a lot in, of our time. Yeah. So, and yeah.
Hey Sue, so out of the like 5,200 lots that are out there, how many are kind of leads?
How many are lead currently? See what's picking out.
Let me just follow up.
I have 23 leads currently filed. And then I'll be putting in another. You just get 1 pay, right? We're only getting 1 pay.
Yes.
So I think we're gonna be down to 6 leads to be assigned on Monday. So I'm gonna get people to 30.
That's not a bad ratio.
That's it, yeah.
And the other thing to remember about that big amount that we wrote off last year is that that's not just dues, those are late fees.
So, yeah.
Real quick, we're gonna keep going with Saturday, and at the end of the meeting, we're gonna continue.
What next is deferred charges related to those properties, so there's foreclosure on the property, there's legal costs, other costs associated with that. Normally, whenever a property is resold, portion of the cost of recovery, you see that balance decrease from the prior year, so there's no sales in 2022, so that's why there's about $4,000 increase in the additions of the attorney fees related. There was a bunch of activities, so that's why there's no change, or little change. Prepaid assets, liability insurance, that was 14,578. Little increase. And lease receivables, 4,750. That's those are grazing leases, so some income that comes with this. Looking at your property and equipment, that now for investment won't change from last year, 281,893. Property equipment and leasehold improvements, that increased by about 22,735 from last year. So that amount in 2022 is 32,000. That was related to costs for the fire station. Total assets, 1,769,400. Your liabilities, accounts payable, is 11,593. That's everything that was an expense or due to be paid at the end of the year, but not paid until 2023. So those expenses were 11,593, increase of $4,200. Crew liabilities, the payroll that's to be paid, salary expenses to be paid in December but not paid until January. Other liabilities, 42,605. Lease liabilities, that's the lease of the office space and copier equipment. The remaining amount of the lease that's remaining was 5,577. And deferred lease income related to the freight and leases, 4,750. So your total liability and net assets, it was 1,769,000. So match your cash. Page 3, that is the statement of activities. So your revenues and expenses were for the year. So Tierra Grande is considered a nonprofit association. So you see a without donor restriction and with donor restriction. There is no donor restriction, otherwise the amounts in that column. Everything received and expended was annual assessment. That's the increase in total expenses was 140,438, a decrease of last year of 77,522. And to touch on that is that large of a decrease. Last year was the write-off, the initial write-off of the long-standing investment receivables, interest and penalties. That was an $84,000 expense last year. And like Sue had mentioned, this year was $107,000, around 10,000. So that's why there was such a huge decrease from last year, and then with a slight increase of revenue. So we look at salaries and director's fees, 68,679. Legal and professional, so just the attorney costs for administrative purposes on 17,778. Office expenses for the year, 26,005. Insurance costs, 13,149. Payroll taxes, 4,339. Property maintenance was 3,489, and other operating administrative was 10,390. The only other expense, other incomes are not related, but whenever there's a foreclosure sale or any recovery of past due receivables or property taxes were recovered, so that's considered an expense. So the other expenses, and interest and other income related to CD, penalties and interest collected at 25,766. So for the year, the association increased net assets, so net revenues over expenses by $92,574. So that is that added to your equity or what's left over. So net assets at the end of the year was $1,704,779. On the page 4 is just the 2021 expenses, which I should briefly point out just what the increase is compared to 2022. Page 5, with really the last financial schedule of the report. That's just your cash flow. So it shows where your cash is from. So in this particular one, I look at net cash provided by operating activities. So that's just the main purpose of the Tierra Grande collecting assessment fees and then land and property related expenses. So for 2022, net cash that was provided, so brought in by operating activities, was an increase of $54,760 compared to 2021 of $162,135. And the other category is investing activities, so in this case, if there's a purchase of equipment, a sale of equipment, earnings from the CDs, that's reflected here. So in 2022, when I was saying the costs related to the fire station, purchase of property and equipment, $22,112, so that's considered outgoing cash. And we invested earnings on our CDs was $81,200. So you saw your, on the top, operating activities and the increase of cash of $54,760. So there is an outgoing, so a decrease of cash for your investment activities with $103,335. So you can see total net decrease in cash was $48,575. You can see last year's cash balance was $332,186, and the cash at the end of the year, $293,611. And that's all I have for the schedules to present to you all. If there's any questions, talk afterwards or however you all want to do that.
Next on our agenda, parking or county commissioner for Lindsay County.
So, as Jim mentioned, my name is Forrest Mark. I'm the county commissioner for Quincy County. Quincy County, as Tierra Grande, I do commission. Sue had asked me to come here to just give a general update about what the county's doing. You know, kind of an overview of several different items, and then I think probably at the end, just so we keep this rolling, we can take questions. Now it's up to whatever you decide. But one of the topics that Sue had asked for was the hospital update. So this is obviously a hot button issue for most of us who've lived here a long time. It's very frustrating, right? Belen's to Las Lunas to Belen, all the other stories that go with it. The biggest update I can give you now is that we are probably in a couple months of announcing more public information, specifically where the hospital is going to go. So what the county has done is remove ourselves from it. The contractor / operator / administrator of the hospital has made the decision of where to put it. So that will be in a public meeting, so that we all find out at the same time. So it kind of wipes our hands of it, and wherever they decide to put it is where they decide. Another update is county road maintenance. I know that that's a big issue because these potholes stuck. We have 229 miles in district routes, everything south of Belen, all the way over to the west side and east side of the county. Looking at the numbers real quick before we started today, that's about 49% of all the roads. However, the 5 commission districts get the same amount of money currently. And so that's something that I have to work with internally with my partners on the commission. But if you look at that, right, so we have almost half of the roads in the county, but District 1, which is Las Lunas, has 6 miles or county maintained, right? So it's, we kind of get the shaft a little bit because we have the majority of the roads, but everybody gets the same money. So that's just an update with that. Yeah. So that's a budgetary process that I have to work with my fellow commissioners on to say let's reallocate. A lot of times what happens is you get money from the state that you can only use universally. It can't be, well, District 3 in Valencia County gets 45%, whereas other districts get whatever the difference. So yeah, that's been one of the most frustrating things. It started in January, and the road issue is a very big thing. Especially because we have so many county maintained roads, whether they're paved or they're, some composite of the two. It's a lot of roads, and we drive them every day, and there's only so much dollars that we can get, right? And so then going along with that, it's also on the schedule. A lot of folks call about their roads being maintained, potholes, speeding, etc. So working with Public Works, it's just a very straightforward. Hey, we're going down the list. They have a list that they generate. And they work it right. Everybody wants a road done now, but we have 50% of them in the county. It's very difficult. Written down that. The next update I wanted to give or just bring to your awareness is that, recently, and Sue can attest to this, recently there's been a very large influx of cannabis manufacturing as well as grow operation. And so I just wanted to say, if anybody has any issues with that, our hands are tied to the county because it's a state mandated, state legislated, state directed issue. We have one of, and we haven't been challenged by it yet, we have one of the strictest cannabis ordinances in the state. But even then, that still kind of limits us to what we can. So that was just the other big issue that I'm running down now with folks in Morales and in real communities as well. So I guess I can take any questions. If anybody has anything specific, I'll stick around and also talk one-on-one if you'd like. But I do want to say Tierra Grande is the only community in my district that has their stuff together. This is the only community that I don't get concerns from. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but my priority is making sure that whatever support you need is there, and that, you know, all this other stuff that's happening in the county or the state doesn't negatively impact what's going on in Tierra Grande. Because people moved out here, they live out here for specific reasons, to get away from it, to live their lives, to do their own thing. And whatever I can do in my position to protect that, preserve that, while also enhancing in the ways that you need it, is my objective of this. So I appreciate everything you guys do. I can take a couple questions, so we stay on time. If anybody have anything? Yes, sir.
Did the county ever replace that failed road through? There's one of the reasons maintaining our washboard is frequently is because we're missing one road grader.
Correct. So the legislative session after that, we did appropriate money for it. So I think that's just a time thing. Just funds move through government. Because we did allocate.
Good. Is it fair to ask who the hospital administrator will be?
I can't know that right now. All right. Well, thank you all very much. I'll stick around. We can talk towards the end of your questions.
Board. Mornings,
Good morning, Ed. All right, so just wanted to give you an update on the fire station. We had high hopes last year of getting a fire station. And Escudo and Estada obtained property, fenced the property, did the preliminary drawings for the multi-use center fire station. And then it kind of got political. The fire marshal had to give approval for this. So there was a lot of waiting and a lot of back and forth of documentation and how many houses and how many structures. And what it boiled down to was the fire marshal decided against the fire station in Tierra Grande. A couple issues that arose with that. The ISO would have increased by putting that fire station where we were going to put it due to the amount of calls that Tierra Grande receives. So that was going to be detrimental and against what we were trying to do, and that was decrease the ISO rating, not increase it. Also, he stated that we didn't have enough volunteer firefighters to run that station. So we kind of hit a brick wall regarding the fire station located as one of these, and it's good. We are still open to options. If you guys looked at the letter that went out last month, we asked a few questions regarding that fire station and that multi-use center. Asking questions, would it be beneficial to have a multi-use center here closer to Tierra Grande, located near the current fire station? And then we also asked a question about strategically putting water in different areas in Tierra Grande to assist firefighters in fighting brush fires and structure fires. So that's kind of where we're at the fire station. We were at the mercy of the fire marshal and other governmental agencies. And then now we're kind of just sitting back and waiting for you guys to tell us what you would like to see as members. And I think that's important. You guys got any questions? Go ahead.
What farm? Valencia County or
State fire marshal. Mr. Rodriguez.
Did I read that one of the concerns about our fire station is that we didn't have enough fires out here?
Yes,
But isn't that kind of a disincentive? Okay,
wait,
It's right, so, will the county, help with the resources for placement of the water backup tanks or whatever, mobile units, or whatever you have on the drawing board?
so as a board, we've had discussions with both the county and Rio Communities. We've had the wildland firefighter group from Valencia County come out and look over, and he's kind of looked over where we have water located now. And we're talking wildlife tanks, everything. I mean, when a fire happens, they have rights to all that water and they can use it. So we are working with those as a board, and we'll take all that information into consideration if and when we decide. Whatever we decide.
But the question was the county going to assist with the cost?
No,
No, this is a pure TG, project.
yes.
Okay.
Did you mention the possibility of digging a well?
I think that questionnaire was open to that. It was just kind of receiving information from you guys as to what you would like to see.
So, in my opening remarks, I talked about some money coming from the easements that would be happening across Tierra Grande land. And so the board, in the June 23 edition of the Tierra Grande Tales and Trails newsletter, the Tierra Grande Board of Directors, we asked questions, what's your opinion? You know, there was just a questionnaire at the end of it, on the other side of the valley. And kind of a survey. And there was to date, when this was printed, there was 42 responses that came in. The first one is, if a fire station is not feasible, explore the possibility of moving the Tierra Grande office and community room closer to the Tierra Grande main entrance at Valette and Highway 47. 75% of the people responded that they would like it. You know, at least they have something out there. 18% said no, and 6%, I guess, they're undecided. The second question was increased funding for current grants and/or new grants. 53% of the people said yes, 36% of the people said no, and 11% were decided. This is in your packets. The third question was create water supplies or tanks at strategic areas in Tierra Grande for use by fire departments to fight home fires and wildfire. 94% of everyone responded yes. Only 6% said no, and 1% was undecided. Question number 4: to partner with internet provider to provide cost-effective quality internet. 83% were in favor of that. 8% said no, and 9% completely undecided. Number 5: create a new brochure showing the benefit of moving to the Tierra Grande community. 60% said yes, 27% said 13% were undecided. Update the Tierra Grande promotional video. 60% said yes, 29% said no, and 11% were undecided. Enhance the Tierra Grande website. 79% yes, 14% no, and 7% decided. And then it says meet your local realtors to promote your Tierra Grande. 72% yes, 20% no, and 8% yes. So as the board, what we're going to do is look at these numbers and probably start working on trying to improve what the majority of you have asked us to improve. So we'll start working between the staff and the board. We'll start working, you know, what we found through our survey. And again, if anybody has, you know, we're 6 people that show up every Thursday, 7 people every now and then, or I'm sorry, show up every Wednesday, and it's kind of crazy. I have the same thought on this Wednesday as I have on the next Wednesday. And if we get new blood, we get new people coming to the meetings that want to contribute, we're more than happy to have. So it's all of our organization. Someone just put us up here as targets for you. It's kidding. But, okay, so if there's any questions about the survey that was done? Yes, sir.
Hey, Jim, just a quick question. So how are you going to prioritize those 8 or 10 items?
Well, we have different committees. And knowing how the world works, probably pick some of the low-hanging fruit first. But we do have committees. We are working like the first one, we explore the community center. That we're already kind of working on. The background is what Brent's been working on. The board talks about basically every board meeting. So that will be something that we will continue to forge ahead on. Increasing the funding for grants, new grants, that kind of stuff. We'll be talking about that and increasing funding, doing those types of things. It's purely administrative. Somebody brings it up at a board meeting and it gets voted on. We're off to the races. So some of it is pretty simple to do. Some of it's going to require support. So I don't know exactly which one will go first and which one will get done first. Any other questions? Okay. Mitsu?
So you're gonna.
I think I have a built-in microphone, but we'll try this here. So, in the comments of the survey, I got some impressions that people weren't aware of the grants, didn't understand what they meant to them. Some people thought that it benefited more of the people who do not own the land, it did not benefit residents. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's absolutely not true. So first off, the board has granted 15 grants so far, and about 90% of those grants apply to people who are currently residents. 2 went to new build people who are currently actively building, and 1 is someone who proposes to build. We never give this money out ahead of time. You have to finish your project, build your home, do your thing. Then we will reimburse you. So I wanted to go over some of them with you and clarify. The board's going to be working on improving the language. Right now, it says you need to submit your request ahead of time for approval, and that really just gets you in the queue because we've reflected a month. So if you put your money request in ahead of time, you're pretty much guaranteed to be able to get it. Now, the proposal will be perhaps to allow someone to, if money's available, and they submit their request within 90 days, then maybe they will get it, but there's no guarantee the budget is around. So let's take a look at first at the grant for energy and water conservation. It is probably our most grant, and it's $1,000. And what's been used for mostly is solar. So people want to put in solar panels, solar. We have people who are hooked into the grid, people who haven't hooked into the grid. That doesn't matter to us as long as you have solar. And if you get the final certificate of completion, then we will reimburse you up to $1,000. But some other examples that we have provided for our tankless water tanks. We have provided for power line extension. We have water conservation, water systems. Let me see what else. extra water tanks. So yes, yes, it's gonna benefit your country, definitely wherever it is. But I'm thinking during this last, that I'm appreciative of everybody who got solar. I have to get me to stay on, and I didn't inform them. So it affects everybody, so think about that. So if it's gonna help maybe this person who produces solar, helping everybody else. The same with, we're getting more people in who are not drilling wells. They're doing water catching and collection systems, they're doing great water systems, they're doing, they call it cistern systems. That is going to improve decrease the draw. Our agriculture to help us who have wells, who would be paying about $35,000 to $40,000 now to drill a new well. So for all of you guys who want more conservation, I thank you personally as well. So, looking on just with this energy and water. Anything you think that is going to improve the environment for the rest of us, ask. You may need to change some of the language, you may need to clarify it, because I think energy and water, big solar, its own thing, it's very expensive. But if the forms in there, this is what the documents say. Now, the next one is power line extension grants. Probably back in 1995, Tierra Grande spent some money to extend power down every single unit to encourage development. Well, it didn't encourage development. And so, and plus we were informed that we could lose our nonprofit status because we are developers. We're an association and we have 3 or 4 tasks to do, covenant enforcement, protect the open space, that type of stuff. We are not developers. So the board said, well, how can we encourage development? And the decision was, well, let's help people where they want to develop. And so it's fairer because we are a landowners association. You who own vacant land versus the people who reside there pay exactly the same amount of money as the person who, if me, I live in, I get more than $50 a year than the people who don't reside here. So now with the board looking at being able to give you where you want to develop, that person who lives in Canada who decides to come down and retire here and has a lot in Socorro County, for which they do not maintain any roads in Socorro County. Now we can help them. We can help them. They grade the road. We will reimburse them up to a certain amount. They extend the power line for the roadside. Now, extending that power line roadside does not just improve their life. It generally improves all the lots along that road. And so the last one improved, I believe it was 9 other lot owners benefiting from that extension. So that seems to be the best way to encourage development and keep us out of the IRS rules of not being developed. So that's power line extension. And those must come across the road along the roadside, because if it comes any other way, there's no way for other landowners to access. So, matter of fact, the one we approved, he had a way across lots and would have saved him about $3,000. But because our grant covered that difference, plus he took it roadside and improved those people. Now, then the last one is road assistance. Now, in Valencia County, their policy is that they will not maintain roads in which there are no homes. Makes perfect sense. They don't have to go visit it. And we also know Socorro won't maintain any. We do not own the roads. Tierra Grande does not own the roads in our community. They were deeded and dedicated and accepted by the individual counties back in 1973. So any kind of road improvements, any kind of road work must be overseen particularly in Valencia County, by the county. So we do have a small agreement with them if there are emergencies and they need funds to help with some road improvement in Tierra Grande. We haven't had to draw on that. Mostly the county's been really very good to us. But let's say, for instance, you're gonna be building a new home and you're off of a road that is maintained by the county, so you want to put in a culvert. Well, I want you to include this grant, this culvert, this coverage in this grant. Now we have to make sure the county is aware of the culvert, so they don't, when they blade the road and decide to pull it up. So don't limit it just to roads. We have a couple new families in one area on Unit 22, which is not on a maintained road. Once their homes are built, then we will work with them to petition the county to accept that road for maintenance. No guarantee, but we'll cross that bridge as we move to it. So those are the current grants that are available. Look it over, anything that any questions, any recommendations they can have. But again, it really has been, to my surprise, a greater benefit to the people who live here and the people who do not live here. So, let me see. Now let's talk about, I'm going to go through this very quickly. We are all part of Socorro Electric. If you live on the grid, you don't, you're not. But Socorro Electric has a wonderful energy efficient rebate program. So I've sent you their, provided you with their rebate things. It could be something from LED lamps and fixtures to electric appliances, recycling, a smart thermostat, fans, they have your coolers, outdoor power equipment, heat pumps, air source pumps, electric heat, Energy Star rated air conditioners, heat pumps, air source heat pumps. Now this one, I just felt my heart to read this one because I have an electric car. I'm going to push to put in my charger, and guess what? If I apply that, I got $100 back from them. But you got to put your application in within 90 days after the event. So any of you guys, this could be, so any of you guys look over all the things you've done and make sure that you get your rebates and forms into Socorro Electric within 90 days. So there's also some commercial things here. So there's more that's available to you than the association. Say thank you to all of you. It's a pleasure actually working with you guys, and it's kind of fun. And you bring things to the table that well, we ought to think about that. Because like Mr. Leonard said, we're the same brains that we bring along to the meeting. It's nice to have other thoughts. We are working diligently to try to get our meetings up on the website. All of these documents, look at the support. We have a support record link on our website. The grants are on our website. Forms are on our website. You can contact us through the website. Email is the best way. Of course, it includes sporadic lately. So I can guarantee you we will respond to you if you email us. Leave us a phone message. We'll get back to you. And any other questions for me so far? And thank you all for thanks you kindly.
Question. First, I'd like to thank the board for this grant program. I think it's a wonderful idea. I don't know why we didn't take it a year ago, but it's great. And the question is, you mentioned that we do not own the roads, and the county only maintains those at the house on. If the road is not maintained, the county still owns the property. Is that correct?
Correct.
And is that true for all of the Horizon development areas, not just Tierra Grande, or is that?
We can only speak to Tierra Grande. We have the recorded plat maps that are signed and accepted by the county commission, and that included the roads. I can only speak to Tierra Grande. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Morris's comments were not a political announcement, but I appreciate that. And I had a conversation with the Valencia County Assessor the other day, and she said it's almost the same thing that Commissioner Sparkman said, is that you guys, and I'm not talking about us, that the Tierra Grande members are the best thing working, and they want to see everything be with us. So, yes. Well, we own a couple of lots. We own a lot to the south of the fire station, the current fire station in Rio Grande State. We own a large lot on the north side, on the south side of the fire station. And so we're considering there, because of the proximity to the current fire station, the power, a bunch of things. So we're gonna look at a bunch of options. Be a while. I do want to remind you guys, while wonderfully it looks like we have this $1 million in cash, and we really do, but the board is very financially fiduciary. I take that very seriously. So then set aside about $300,000 that never gets really spent. And that is in case something catastrophic ever happened, we'd have 3 years worth of operating expense. And then the other thing is about 600,000 was set aside to build this fire station and office center. And to remind everybody too, that for our everyday living expenses, the office, the heat, the utilities, the postage, and newsletter, we have to live within the collected assessment revenue. And the IRS, that is our bylaws are supposed to be incorporated. And now, so any of the other money beyond that generally comes from other things like SunZia, Western Spirit, gravel projects. That is the money that's used for grants and foreclosures and other things. If that ever falls away, those would be the first things to go, because we have to live on our day-to-day operations. So, so anyways, thank you all. Okay, it just is save us a lot of appreciate it. Anything else? Any other questions? All right, I'm going to hand you over to.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ron, the new employee with Tierra Grande and a resident. So I was just going to talk to you a little bit about our website, and then I'm going to be taking over managing that for the association. So we've already started making some improvements. We now have a search function, so you can find things easier. So clicking through all the pages. We've added the Pay Now button to the banner, so it's on every page. So gets you there. You don't have to again search around for it. We've updated a new tab to include basically our HOA disclosure document. It has all the bylaws, the grants, the covenants, all on one page, so it's easier to get to, and it matches our disclosure statement that we have to send out to members. But we are open to suggestions, like the button Pay Now. That was a member suggestion that we implemented, and the search function was a recommendation from the member. So I will probably within the next month or so be taking over the current company and manage it. I guess I'll need some suggestions.
Like you went ahead and Ron has done a great job. The newsletter, it's like the last 10 years.
I think 10 years.
Okay, so you'll find minutes for prior.
4 minutes.
4
financial
minutes,
reports.
annual meeting minutes, the financial statements for the last 5 years. We are going to be recording this meeting, and it will be a link to the meeting member meeting. So if you are sent, you can link on to do that. So there's again suggestions from them. I don't think there's time for that. We haven't done this suggestion, and either one responded and said, can't do it, or given somebody recognition. Good suggestion.
Yeah, I think that pay now button on the banner, it was within like 2 days of getting suggested. We just, need your feedback, so we can make things better for you, easier for you to navigate our website.
So how do we reach you, give you those suggestions?
But, you can go through the website or listen to info@tierragrande.org, our email address. You can also call the office. For the same for contacting us for any suggestions or recommendations for complaints. So,
Thank you, Ron.
that's all I have.
Before we go on to the drawings here, wait to the first spreadsheet. But if anyone has not completed their survey, that's what's going to qualify you for your $25 credit to your account. So please, Mr. Hobbs has extra surveys. If you haven't sent in your ballot, Mr. Hobbs, this will be the time to do it. Okay?
Seven oh four. 704. 704.
Candy.
Yeah.
3 numbers are 718. 718. I'll look at you. Oh, 718. That's 3 numbers, 718. Well. Do like this. 693.
All right. White. Victoria. Next one is from Kim Pravada. He helps us with the open space and beautiful pictures she took.
Seven hundred. 700. Seven zero three.
Exactly.
685.
Yeah, all right.
Donated by Wayne and Val Smith. And it is a mahogany finished custom photo serving tray with pictures of Tierra Grande on it. So enjoy. Yeah.
Seven, two, five. 725. Six, seven, five.
It's an all set. Val Smith.
Six, 9, 5. 695.
These are donated by David and isn't this beautiful? Homemade.
95, okay.
Yeah.
Oh. Got it. Six, 9, 9. 699.
Ross creates this bread slicer, and it is very, very sharp. So I'm gonna leave this on here. Beautiful. Enjoy. So now, drawings for members that have been here for 50 years.
Whoa.
And then put in that beautiful quilt. And what a perfect celebration, 50 years here. Yes. Thank you for this. And this is going to be a drawing for the 50th. Our members that have been here for 50 years. Oh, 50th anniversary. I'm sorry.
The winner is 096.
So beautiful. Oh, okay. Ready? Gotcha. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mike. Good afternoon.
Fantastic candidates, wonderful campaigns, massive amounts of money spent on it. From the years of 1800. Followed by COVID. There was one candidate. He had no office. With no write-ins. There were 170 ballots cast. And then 231 votes. And they're all cast with Jim Martin.
We have them for a few more years, so. We're gonna open up the floor to questions and, we'll be able to answer them as best we can. Does anybody have any questions about stuff that was or was not covered during the meeting?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I've heard, we don't live here right now, we have homes here, we don't live here. But I've heard that there are some businesses moving into the area.
Well, businesses in real communities.
In the county.
Tierra Grande, there aren't, it's rural residential, so any business.
No, in the area, they're hiring people.
Oh, yeah. So there's the old Ketter building in the industrial park here on the side of the river. There's supposedly a large windmill manufacturer that's coming in doing big pipes at the bottom of the windmills to carry the windmill. They're gonna be manufacturing those here in town. And if anybody's looking for a job, I need people for abundance. Busting rocks. Any grandkids that aren't going to be seven. That's how it is. They're digging the chuck box. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Currently, we have 6 homes under. Some are. Those seem to be the biggest one here. Some have here up building. And they're, so those are the. I'm looking at a survey. I'm going to speak to your survey about.
Yeah, just a quick analysis from the data we have, and over the past 4 years, so 2019 to 2022, we've had 10 new residents. So some of those are people that bought homes, some of those are built, and so far this year we have 6. So before that it was like 3 or 4, except in I think it was 2008 we had 10, and then other than that it's not complete data, because when someone buys someone else's home, then their number falls off.
We've seen it uptick in the interest in Tierra Grande. Why people in the open space and that down there over here. We just met with a new family. Yes, a young couple. They said it's close enough to the city of Albuquerque, but it's far enough. And they like the space, they like the view, they like quiet, they like the community. Then they said, my brother-in-law, President has, pays 4 or 5 times a year in their assessments than we charge here. They don't get. I said, thank you. But it was for getting younger people, getting more families in. And so we got some young people over here. And so it's really cool to see a little change over here. Probably the year, the service we've done, 200 changes of ownership over the last year, maybe more. And so there's a lot of stuff.
And then to follow up with that, I saw where there had been some comments about to the architectural committee about reducing the size of the home required in order to build a home here, making it a little smaller than the what's it called, are they looking at that?
Oh, we are very, very. We are very, very and 2,000 square feet. We will not spend on that. Good, put in there.